So the reason that these are different is because the addresses within the main function and function one, they are completely different. They're not the same. So let me just show you. So this will be address of A in main function. So if we were to run this, okay, so here we have 5 from this line right here, and then we have the address of A, which is this is the address from the main function, and as you can see, it's completely different from the address from this from function 1. They're not the same. The only the since this is called by value, only the value of A is getting passed into this function, not. And since A is being changed, only this value of A pertaining to this function necessarily is being changed. The value of A from the original main function, this is not being changed. This is not being modified. So which is why we still have 5 out here. So now we have call by reference. And call by reference, the original. This is where the value can actually be changed, because here we're passing the addresses, and since the addresses are what the addresses contain the value. If the value inside the address is changed, then the value is just changed entirely. It doesn't matter if it's in the main function or not. Since the value inside the address is changed, it's not just necessarily the value from the address, since the addresses are shared. So here we have to call by reference with the pointer. So here, so if we were to have same function, kind of. So with this, since we're using the same function, we don't necessarily need a return. So this will now change into a void function. Okay, so if we run this, okay, so as you can see here, so we have A is 5, and we output this line, which is this value right here, and then we have the address of A in main is this address right here, and then when we call on function 1, we send the address of A to this to function 1, and as you can see, it is the same address, and then here, which is PTR. So PTR is the address of A. It's the same thing. That's just saying, like before. I'm gonna use comments here. Just PTR is equal to the address of A. But once you throw in the dereference operator, this pointer right here, it's pointing to the value that is inside of the address of A. So the value inside of the address of A is 5. So here you would have 5 plus 1, which is 6. So this gets so since this the dereference operator and PTR, that's the add value inside the address. So since this is being changed, since the value inside the address is being changed, since because they share the same address, since the value is being changed, it affects it entirely. So now this A is 6, right? Is this 6 over here, because they share the same addresses, and if the value inside the address is being changed and it's using the same address, then that value will be changed no matter what, even if it is from a different function. Okay, so now we have string to integer. So for this, kind of like how IOStream is a library that has many that allows you to use many functions, you're also gonna need to add, to convert string to integer, you're gonna need to add this header. So we can just delete that. So let's say you had a string A is 1 2 3, string B 3.14 put pi. So to do this, to change strings to integers, you're gonna want to use this right here, s2i. So basically just means string to integer, and then parentheses, and then the name of the string that you want to change into an integer. So you just do that however many times you need. Okay, so then we'll just see out. So we have num1 Okay, so we can just run this. Okay, so as you can see, num1 is just 123. Num2 is just 3, because since it is an integer, it's just whole numbers. The rest of this does not matter. Same goes for number 3, which is string C. The 0.7864, that doesn't matter. It's just a whole number. So streams are, if you want to, if you have a string that has many parts to it and you want to cut it up or separate it, you would need to and separate it into substrings. You would need to include this header. So ss stream, and then we can go ahead and delete this. So let's say you have string sub is equal. You have 1, 2, 3. So sub I just is short for substring. So you just have you name these other string objects. So we could have sub1, sub2, sub3, and you would want to use this right here. You want to use string stream. So the name of your string, so stream, so here you're going to use get line. Okay, so what this means is for sub1, it's gonna take whatever is before this first slash. So it's gonna take 1, 2, 3 into sub1. Same thing goes for the rest of these. So if you would change this to sub2 and sub3. And if we were to just see out whatever is sub1, sub2, sub3. Oh, sorry. Let's do B together. So if you output that, there you go. You have 1, 2, 3, ABC and AEI, which is what I wrote up there. So this is in in the string sub1. This is in string sub2, and this is in string sub3. So moving on to structure. Structure and C++ structures lets you put different data types like integers, characters, strings, and group them together. This a structure has member fields, the thing which is what's inside it, the different data types that you put. So to create a structure, you would want is gonna go outside of the main function. So you want to put struct. It can be structures are can be like a body of some sort. Let's say like want to build a person. It holds information that like different information that can be grouped together. So let's say you want to make a structure for let's go with student.